So even the most beautiful gardens are not problems from pests. And one thing that we were not prepared for were the caterpillars getting our cucumbers. Mostly because we've never had a cucumber plant this prolific and had such a wonderful healthy plant. So the pickles, they really started off great and healthy, and I'm not going to even say that this plant is unhealthy, but look here, and this started happening, and you can see there's a stink bug right there too. Here, where the worms are eating into the vine and getting in to the vines. Not only are they getting in the vines, but they were also getting into the cucumbers. Here is an example of that. So, let me see if I can get another focus for you. So that sludge coming out of there is the inside of the cucumber that the worm has eaten and kicked out to make its little hole in there. Now, we have gotten BT, and we sprayed them last night, and we're going to spray them again tonight. And the reason that we're choosing to treat at night is because the bees do pollinate the flowers, and the flowers actually close at nighttime. So this guy here, who is open and ready to be pollinated, will actually close up at night. So we started last night treating, and we're going to treat again tonight. Well, first we're going to come and look and see if there's any worms. Now, obviously that cucumber, that's fresh worm damage, but the way that the BT works is they actually have to ingest it, and it kills them from the inside out. So that's kind of like you treat, you wait, you treat, you wait, you treat, you wait. But we're also starting to see this kind of yellowing of the leaves, and we know that it's not from excess water, and we know it's not from too little water. So there is some extra things that can happen. Cucumber leaves feel neat. That's so neat. Hear that? It's weird. Anyway, I'm weird. So there is a secondary thing that they can infect the plant with an illness that does cause them to do that. So that's another thing that we're going to continue to watch. And we are prepared to take this out and completely replant the pickling cucumbers. Because, like, see, this is a lot. There's just a lot of damage from these guys. And it happened like that. Like, it happened so fast. Like, one day they were just sprawling high and healthy, and the next thing we start looking at, like, okay, what is going on? What is going on with this? So we did some research, and we found out that's what it is. The worms, little caterpillars, cucumber caterpillars, had moved in, and it's a moth that lays the eggs, and they got us. So not only is it affecting these cucumbers, but it's also affecting our slicers over there. So we are totally prepared to start over with that. But something that I think is really cool, and so does Steve, is our noodle beans are starting to put off beans. And look at this. This is crazy. These are the beans. And they're all over. I mean, they are just, there's little ones, there's big ones. Let me see, here's two more. They're kind of hard to see because of the way they blend in. So I can see why people do the arch trellises, because they hang. So you can definitely tell the difference between the vine and the beans. Like, here's three more. Oh gosh. So you got two long ones and a little one, and then they're on the other side too. So I can understand. We will do these on the arch trellis next time. Here's some more. I mean, they're just really starting to pop off, and that's exciting. We're excited to try those. We've never grown those before. The bell peppers and the radishes are doing good. Some of the radishes, it's probably about time to grab them. Yeah, see, these are icicle radishes, and they're coming out of the ground, like literally. So I'm going to come through here and probably harvest some of these ones that are bigger. Same with the, these are the, I think these are the cherry bells. Yeah, they are. Look in there. Let me see if I can get it. Or they might be the scarlet. Let me see. I was pretty sure I left a tag in here with them. See those guys there? Look at them. I think these are the cherry bells. Well, those for sure over there are the cherry bells. I thought I did that. I thought I did cherry bells, icicles, and scarlet. I think that is what I did. Anyway, so they're doing well. Look at our watermelon plants. And yes, I did see the first baby, but there are many babies that we are hoping grow into melons. See, there's a baby. Let's see. The first one that I saw was down here, and I don't know where she's at, because like as the plants grow, they kind of hide the melons. So that's definitely something we're gonna have to look for as they get bigger, because we want to put them in like little melon hammocks. So yesterday we harvested the potatoes, and definitely not the harvest we were anticipating, but still not disappointing because we grew several meals, but not what we were anticipating. So we've got to still dial in what we're doing with the potatoes. It's going to take a little bit more research. These are some other types of beans. There are some noodle beans, black-eyed peas, lima beans, and things in here that I planted that I had extra. That was kind of an experiment. Oh, I'm showing you the shelf down here. Look, there. So we'll see how those do. The squash and zucchini, the squash bugs got us. Even though I treated and some of them started coming back, they are just not healthy plants. So these guys up here are coming out, and we are going to start more seeds, but we're not going to do a whole row. We are going to take out all of the unhealthy ones, leave the healthy ones, treat. See, like this guy here, he's still a pretty healthy plant. So we're going to treat him. You know, there's some other ones in here, but I'm probably not going to go like beyond this with the squash and zucchini. We'll probably leave those healthy ones, get in here and cut out the yellow leaves, treat them, and then this way we're going to plant something else. We're going to take all of this out, prepare this area, and probably do, I don't even know, bush beans, something, I don't know. We got to figure that out. I'm going to step through here because I don't have a path. So yeah, we're working on that. Sorry, I'm just trying to navigate. So the peppers, these were the chocolate bells. I mean, so pretty, even green, but wait until they start turning that chocolatey purple color. So the plants aren't that big, but they do have peppers. We were looking at topping them, but with bell peppers, we researched and saw that you don't really want to do that. So we left them, and we're not disappointed. Probably going to hit them with some kind of fish emulsion or something just to give them a little bit of a boost with fertilizer. But for right now, they're good. We'll go down the tomatoes in a minute, but look at our okra. it is really, really starting to come in. Steve weeded this whole row yesterday and got all that grass out of there. But what we're doing, and you're probably going to be like, oh, you just pulled all that grass out of there, but now you're putting it back on the rows. Yes, we're putting it back on the rows, but we're putting it back on the rows cut. And it will compost and just feed our soil. So here you can see we got this much of the row. The boys did this, added the grass clippings. And the more research that we're doing, the more that we're realizing that eventually we just want this to be one large, pretty much just one large area of nothing but beautiful compost. No rows, like just all one big huge thing where you can design your garden how you want to. So tomatoes, I mean, what can you say? They're beautiful. They're starting to ripen. Like, I'm just so excited. We did grab some that had started to kind of split and had some, one of them had a worm. Matter of fact, it was a black beauty. And we just cut that part out and ate the rest of it. And we just had it as just to see. And they're so sweet. And they're like, the tomatoes in the store to me are not sweet. And they're not, they're just kind of bland. Like, they have a very faint tomato taste when you compare it to a homegrown tomato. It's totally different. And the flesh is not that kind of like gritty kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. I just don't, store-bought tomato flesh and homegrown tomato flesh, when you pick it straight off of the plant, look at that. These are stink bugs. See, now we're getting stink bugs. And I found some tomato hornworms. See that? That's stink bugs. You see that? Jerks. I did find a huge tomato hornworm on here, and I plucked him off, and then he died because I killed him. But pests are definitely something that we are actually having to combat and think about this year, which we haven't in years past, because our harvest, number one, has been earlier because we planted earlier, and number two, we didn't get this fruit. We didn't get tomatoes. We didn't get cucumbers. Like, we have been rebuilding our soil, and this is the first year where we have had like a harvest or any fruit on the vine that we really have to watch. So it's coming to that. Like, we're really having to pay attention. Look at him. They're so pretty. And this is weird. I actually like how tomato plants smell. Look at this guy. I mean, he fits in the palm of my hand. I mean, that's a big tomato. I'm still waiting for my okra to give me my first flower. But they haven't done that yet. Here's the difference in variety. So down there, Clemson spineless, typical garden variety okra that you can pick seeds up from your feed store easily. That's a common variety. They're easy to obtain seeds. These are a red variety. I do have the packet inside. I'll have to go look at it. But look at that leaf. Like, that's so pretty. And these are heirloom from Baker's Creek. That's where I acquired those seeds. So you don't get as many as you do of the Clemson, but I do plan to save seeds from these. So the corn, we still have no tassels, but like, I actually have to lift you up so that you can see down the row, because like this here, this is right at my face. This is the best that our corn has ever done as far as height. Usually we get like very high on one end, low in the middle, high on the other end. It's very up and down and weird. But this year it's actually more consistent height wise. So we're excited for that. Not to say that there's not smaller plants in there, but we planted 2 to 3 seeds per hole for successive germination, and almost all of those germinated. So we are, you know, just, we didn't go through and pull them. Corn is a grass, and so we're just kind of letting it go. You know, 2 in a hole. They don't seem to be struggling. They don't seem to be fighting with each other. So we're just, you know, they're doing good. Row of cherry tomatoes, they're catching up. We got to start trellising some. You can see how he's kind of growing out to the side and to the ground. So I definitely got to get out here and work on them. We are about to have some really, really, really hot days. So probably going to try to get out here more in the evenings to work instead of in the heat of the day, because it's just getting to where it's just too much. And then we still have this section down here to plant. I'm probably going to do eggplants because I did get some eggplant seeds from Baker's Creek. And so I'm going to go ahead and get those germinated. I'm going to go, tomorrow we're going to make soil blocks, and I'm going to go ahead and start some new seeds for the things that we are going to go ahead and get ready to plant. Same problem with these cucumbers. Also, you see the yellow spots, and you'll see where they're cutting off the tops. So we're prepared, like I said, to not only do we want to rethink this because the slicers just didn't do well, and what we think happened is because that gets full sun all day long, because that is east, because our road runs north to south. The beehives face east. They come up with the sun, and the sun sets behind us over the woods in the west. They don't get as much sunlight because once the sun gets to right about here, this tree causes a lot of shade in this area. And so it does not get the full sun that it needs. Another thing too is you come back here and there's nothing on this side. It's pretty much a one-sided trellis, which makes it easy to find the fruit. But if you looked at the pickling cucumbers, it was definitely a double-sided, like it was full on both sides of the trellis, and that definitely has to do with sunlight. So we've got some work to do over here. Not to mention the Spanish needle is coming back, and we got to get out here and mow again. So we threw some fertilizer on the horseradish, and you can tell a difference definitely in the leaves. It definitely needed something. The leaves are definitely coming in darker. They were definitely, it was struggling. So we fertilized that. And yeah, I got to get out here and get in between these raised beds. Otherwise these weeds are going to take it over. And even though they're in a raised bed, they're going to choke the peppers out. So we got to work on that. Our experiment box was fun, but now we're done. The corn that did finally come in, so we got tassels and we got pollen super early, but we didn't have any corn to be pollinated. So we're getting corn and we have no pollen. So we've got some little corns here that are coming out, and this was not the corn producer box that this was an experiment. We had some extra seeds, so we put them in here with the beans to attempt the whole Three Sisters style gardening. The beans liked the corn, but it's really hard to find the beans in there. They're a they're a pole bean. I think they're a Kentucky pole bean. I'll have to look at the packet on that again. And we've got beans. We've gotten several beans. That's a little baby bean. We came through here already and grabbed some, but I'm sure there's some that we missed. But long story short, this was literally just an experiment, and we won't do it again. We just wanted to see what would happen. Would it work? And I guess it did to an extent, but what we have found is the beans choke out the corn. They don't get the light that they need. They're kind of spindly, and See, there's stink bugs all over these guys too. So yeah, it was fun. It was neat. We learned, and we didn't have anything else to do in here, but it'll be coming out soon. Oh look, this is probably our biggest one. So yeah, that'll definitely be coming out soon because it's probably not going to produce much of anything. So we've got the paste tomato box over here that's doing really well. We've got some Amish paste tomatoes and some Romas. So we'll probably get some out of that. I will probably start some more of those as well. And other than that, I still have all of these poor plants that I never got to plant. The basil, it bolted and went to seed. Oh, I got a mushroom growing in my herb box. I guess the gnomes put out the message. It still smells delicious though. Gosh, it does. It's still, oh, it smells so good. This oregano went to seed. This one didn't. This is two varieties over here that kind of like merged together. So they're doing good. The sage is doing well. Like everything in here is doing really well. I'm not complaining about any of it. I'm actually happy with our herb box. And I got some new gnomes I got to plant in here. Look, this guy's like falling over. You can't fall over, you have to stay in your wood. There you go. I like the little, okay, so this is probably weird, but when I was little, like I always wanted to take my Barbies and play in my grandma's azalea bushes with them and pretend like they were on a camping trip or in some big forest. And so this just reminds me of that experience. But yeah, that's going to be my kind of little garden update for this evening. I have some other things that I'm going to share with you, but it's going to be more animal. Oh, I forgot. We have a pumpkin. Oh gosh. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do all of that. Let's see if I can make it. Sorry. I don't know if I have enough batteries, so I might get cut off. We've got broody hens like crazy. Sorry for the clanking. That's making it difficult to be able to clean out all of the chicken house because there's like, 5 of them sitting in there together. Pardon our hunting camp truck. We're still working on getting everything cleaned up over here. But I could have gone out that back gate, but I didn't. I had to lock up the front gate anyhow, so let's see. And Zeke found the pond today and was swimming all by his lonesome. We didn't have to call him down there or try to coax him into the water. He just decided he was going to go swimming, and all of the duckweed was like everywhere tonight or today, which usually the wind will blow it to one side or the other. We're hoping to get that here pretty soon, get it cleaned up. I am making my way to the pumpkin patch. So for the most part, the majority of the plants are healthy, but this one in this back corner is like super healthy. See him sticking out there? And let's see if we're gonna try this again. So the other day I introduced you guys to our new rabbits. We had to go down and meet with the breeder and switch them out because we had ended up with all bucks. Well, we were getting 2 does, satin does, to replace the bucks that we had thought were does. And that happens. Well, one of the does, this one here, is actually a satin buck as well. I'm sorry, he won't shut up. So this is a buck, and I found out that it was a buck because I tried breeding them when we got home, because he really should be breeding age, but no, not so much. So I have one doe. This gal here is actually a doe, confirmed. And so we have one satin doe, one satin buck, and one New Zealand buck. And that's okay, because we are going to, when she's old enough, she's not old enough yet, but when she is, we are going to breed her to him. And then once that litter is done, I will breed her to the New Zealand from there, so we can get different, you know, one for kind of like selling and the other for, well, they're both meat production, so we can do either way. But yeah, so 2 boy rabbits don't make baby rabbits, so you have to have a female. It won't work otherwise. And this guy came back. We had taken 2 roosters down the street to one of my neighbors. They wanted it for breeding purposes, so we took him down, but they picked the other one and they brought him back today. So that's why everybody's so loud right now, because he is back on the farm. So they're all communicating with each other.